Wilson Morales from Black Film TV. Hello, Stitch. How's it going?
Hi, Wilson. How are you? Good to see you.
It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long on the big screen. What's that feeling like knowing you're going to be entertaining audiences again?
Stitch practiced really hard, and Stitch excited for opportunity to entertain millions and millions of people, and they get excited and make Stitch feel very loved. Yeah, wish everyone could feel this feeling. Yeah.
Hey, besides being a film, you got some actors in the movie that you once worked with before, like Tia and some others. Was it a reunion of sorts when you got to see them again?
Stitch think whenever he see anyone, always feel like reunion to see everyone. Everyone in Earth so nice and kind and just beautiful people. Like yourself, Wilson. You're nice. You're very nice. Yeah.
When Stitch is out and trying to eat, what's his favorite food? What's gonna tickle his fancy?
Anything that is edible. Mainly 5 basic food groups: candy, cake, pineapple, tacos, and spam. Lots of spam.
That's really good. Now, where do you prefer home? To be with your family or with your new family back on Earth?
Good question. Stitch think wherever Ohana is, that home. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is still now afraid of the water, or does he enjoy the water now?
Stitch getting used to it, but as long as Stitch don't go in water, Stitch no sink like stone. Surfboard, preferred method of water travel. Yeah.
Now that we have Stitch on the big screen, if a lot of people come out to see you, will you be back to come back for more adventures?
Stitch open to all possibilities, but Stitch just keep mind and focus on this movie, because this movie going to be big, and you take family and have great big adventure on screen and inspire whole world.
Well said, Stitch. It's good talking to you. Go have some fun. I enjoyed the movie. We'll talk down the road. Take care.
Thank you, Wilson. Thank you. Bye.
Back home in New York.
Where's your camera? Your little.
Yeah, you see, look at that. You know me well, Mr.
I
Ness.
do.
You know me
Oh,
well.
my goodness. He takes pictures like nobody.
But here we are. Obviously, we've got this live action animation film. Tia, how fun is it that they brought you back in some form to be back in this project?
I'm so happy to be one of the Easter eggs in this film, as you would say.
That's funny.
Just to be, Nani in the first one, now to be somebody that's mentoring or, advocating for her in some way, shape, or form, that I get to play this in my life where I'm advocating and mentoring younger women who are in the business also. It's a great parallel for me as a person in real life as well as in the film.
And Courtney, it's not that often we see you in a film that kids can watch you in. And they can say, I like that guy, and have fun and watch you over and over again. Because with these movies, kids are watching this on a replay.
I know. I'm Cobra Bubbles. What did he do? He was Cobra Bubbles.
What led you to say yes to taking on this role?
And my whole family was like, "You got to do it," and it's in Hawaii. Please, I brought my children out to for Memorial Weekend, and they to Hawaii, Waikiki, and they just had the most magical time.
They just wanted a vacation.
Oh,
That's why they wanted
2 weeks from two blocks from the beach, and I never saw them. They just were having the best time. So. And we ate sushi all day long. Anyway, it was great.
But yeah, when you're coming back, is there anything you wanted to do that's different from what you played before, but still a little bit the same, so that they can remember, like you said, an Easter egg?
She was fully formed. Mrs. Keikoa represents Dean Fleischer Camp, our director's mom. His mom is an actual social worker. So he really wrote her beautifully. He made sure that Chris Bright had fleshed her out and written her beautifully because this is his love letter to his mom. His mom's going to be at the premiere tomorrow, and he said, "Oh no, that's the kind of clothes that my mom would wear." So it was very personal to him, that this character. So I'm grateful for the specificity for Mrs. Keikoa.
You know, and the film has a message. Obviously, it's for family. It's about keeping family, staying united. You know, and as fun as it is, you know, there is a message there. You know, and the roles that both of you play add to that message. You know, so Courtney, when you come into this, you know, you think about like the message that your character is playing, you know, as well as Tia's.
You know, I think the message too is family, but family that is not the traditional family, and families today are not that, and so we have to learn to, as in this family, it's the traditional village. It takes a village to raise a Stitch, and we villaged that boy. We villaged him well. And in order to be that part of that village, you've got to come a certain kind of way. You got to change, and he forced all of us to change our thought pattern and our thought process in order to be with him, be a part of the, as you say, the Stitchiverse.
You know, there's not much more you can say. You know, I had a pleasure watching this. I had a pleasure the Easter egg. I was like, wait a minute, you make you go back and think, 'cause it's been a minute. You know,
She sounds like Nani in the cartoon.
It's like, I know that voice, you know? It's like, and then you dig it up, like, this is it. They did well. They did you right. So congrats on being in the movie. We will watch it over and over again. We'll talk down the road, and I'll be ready to snap you again.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Take care, folks.
Thank you.
Wilson Morales from Black Filmy TV. Hello, folks. How's it going?
Good. How are you? Doing really well. How are
Long
you?
time in the making. We've got this live animation here. It's here to stay, and obviously fans have been waiting for a long time. How long was the process, or was there any changes that you wanted to make bringing it to live action? Jonathan?
Yeah, well, the process actually started. I had the honor of working with another Disney property. We had done our company Rideback had done the live action Aladdin. So we were sort of finishing up that movie and started to talk to Disney about other titles like we just loved and were fans of, and one of which was Lilo and Stitch. And part of it was just looking at it as a movie that was set in contemporary times with human actors and themes that were honestly ahead of its time, I think, in 2002, and felt potentially so resonant today. So we had the opportunity to sort of start developing a script with a writer named Mike Van Was, and then COVID hits and everything else, the world sort of shuts down, and then all of a sudden on the other side it felt like there was an opportunity to make this movie, and you started seeing Stitch everywhere in the zeitgeist. I just felt like I was seeing more stuffies and backpacks than I ever had before, and you sort of felt like, oh, there's real love for this character. Maybe this is the right time to do it. And then the question really became, well, who's the right storyteller, who's the right filmmaker to do it? And right as we started looking for directors, we had a chance to see Marcel the Shell early before it had come out, and just found ourselves weeping at the story of a shell community. And we're like, I did not expect to cry this much at this movie. And so it was like, this is exactly what we're hoping for, this sort of the kind of wit and humor and heart of that movie. If we could sort of bring that into a live action Lilo and Stitch, that would be the dream. And then, of course, we get to meet with Dean, and it turns out Lilo and Stitch was his favorite animated movie of all time. So the real blessing is finding a fan who can be the one to make all these decisions, to tell the story in the best way for all the fans out there.
Favorite? That's that's when you say fake it, you make it, get the job. But Dean, obviously, when you're working with actors who have been part of the original, and you have some newcomers in there, it's not that much of a challenge, because you have something that people can. One, you're a fan. You got a cast that were part of the original, and you're bringing in newcomers.
Yeah, I wish I could tell anyone who is adapting a live-action adaptation of a beloved animated film that the real key is trying to fold in the original creators, the original animators. We had that sort of ethos extended to every phase of production and post-production. We always tried to work with the people who made the original and pick their brain, keep them as advisors on the project. And so we were very lucky that they had already formed kind of a little ohana around the making of the original one, and they were all still really proud of it and really engaged with it and really wanted to, support our film as well. And and it was great. So I also got to work with
some of my heroes who were animators, some of them still work at Disney Animation, so they were actually across the street while we were making this film. Yeah, it was such a pleasure to benefit from that, all of that wisdom and all of that experience.
Was there ever a thought in terms of making Stitch animated, or just keeping it alive? Bringing in somebody to play Stitch or so forth. Like, how did that come about?
I would also like to go on record saying that people call these live action adaptations, but they actually contain a ton of animation. It's just a different style of animation. So Stitch is fully animated in the film, but and all the aliens are. It is a difficult process to shoot a live action movie centered around a character that doesn't exist. And so the default in Hollywood sometimes is to just put a tennis ball on a stick and go, we'll worry about it later. But I just feel like that always makes the character feel a little bit slapped on or like an afterthought. And so we went through enormous lengths to try to create, have some representation for Stitch on set. Sometimes it was this amazing puppeteer we worked with. Sometimes it was Maia, who plays Lilo's acting coach, crouched in a corner doing especially like emotional scenes. Sometimes it was this actual dog named Dale who would just tear through the set and
Cause chaos, just
chaos.
like Stitch. So.
Cause Stitch-like chaos. But yeah, we always tried to create some kind of real reality for the cameras, for our cast and crew, and for me too. So you're telling the story effectively.
Very quickly, Jonathan, do we have more adventures to come down the road? Now that you got this off the ground, are you ready for more?
It would be amazing. It would be an honor. I think we already are sort of stepping into a kind of Stitch-verse in a way of the original animated movie, the sequels, the TV series. There obviously is a larger world of other experiments that are out there. So, I think right now we're just focused on getting this movie out into the world and hoping people love it as much as we do and feel all the love that we put into it. And, hopefully the audience will tell us. And if they want more, then certainly we'll be open. So.
Job well done. Congrats, guys. Let's see what happens next down the road. We'll talk later.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Thanks a lot.